Hello and welcome to another Monday, another session of lessons from my mother. This is lesson number 13. My mother, I love her with all my heart and soul, and all of us do actually. My mother was one of the best students of her class every time, from I think grade 2 or grade 3 till even after she finished med school and did a PhD, MPhil, all of that. Rabin Islam. Rabin Islam says hi. Hi, Rabin Islam. Good to see you. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. My mother was always one of the best students, and that's why she taught us to be one of the best students in our class, if not the best. And that's what we all ended up doing. But if you knew of her circumstances, you'll find out that they weren't the most affluent of circumstances. She came from a lot of hardship, a lot of difficulty to become a doctor and become one of the best students of a medical school and then further study and all of that. She was always very focused and doing better. And thankfully, because both my parents are doctors, my grandparents and aunts and uncles and everyone is from the medical field, for us, being a doctor is so commonplace. It's normal. Everybody is a doctor. Oh, great. Another doctor. No, Robin, stop sharing burgers stuff with me. Anyway, so we grew up in better conditions than my mother did. She tells me that she used to come home from school and she would have lunch and then just sit in front of a window in a quiet, secluded part of her parents' house and study there for 7-8 hours. And you'd think that after 8 hours of school, 7-8 hours would be a bit much. But no, if you know my mother and if you've met my mother, you'll be like, yep, it makes sense. When we were younger, we didn't believe her. We were like, 7-8 hours after school. So you come home at 2, 3. You have lunch at that time, and then you keep studying till you go to sleep, 10 p.m., till the light is out or something, or you'd have a lamp. It would be hard to believe. And then when my mother was doing her MPhil and her PhD, we used to see it. We used to come home from school and my mother would be sitting like this with her legs and arms crossed on one edge of the sofa. Remembering that just makes me emotional. And she'd have a pillow in front of her and a very thick pathology book. One was purple and one was red. That's what I remember. And she'd have it open and she'd just be reading it and reciting and memorizing it and understanding. Because at the Viva or at the interview, they'd ask you things. All right, on page 634, 1055, it says this. What do you say about that? And my mom would go, and she'd remember the page, and she'd remember the diagram, and she'd remember the text, and she'd just answer. So, as you know, in medicine, you have to memorize a lot. Same in law. So you have to memorize a lot. So when we used to come in and we were like, what is she doing? She's still studying. And she'd continue to study until it was time for dinner. So we would knock on the door and go inside and say, Mom, I need this. And she'd be like, okay. And she'd help us out or tell one of the workers in the house to help us out. But she would be focused on that study. I was amazed. I still am by the amount of focus. But one of the reasons she used to say that is the lesson for today. Less prep, more do. And I know grammatically it doesn't make sense, but it's easier to remember. So there is a type of person who wants to prepare and establish the right conditions for the perfect study. So if you live in a hot country like Pakistan, the AC has to be on. The lamp has to be placed correctly. All the books have to be lined up. I have to sharpen all my pencils. I have to buy the best pens. I have to buy the newest notebook. Oh, I can't study with the third edition of this book. I have to buy the latest edition. And you spend time in doing that. And before you know it, the 1 week or 1 month you had to prepare for your exam is gone. Because you wasted your time in preparing resources which you do not need. My mother would sit in, I wouldn't say it's a comfortable place. It was a corner of her parents' house where she would sit and she'd study. One notebook at a time, one pen, one notebook, and just revisions and memorization. When she was doing her PhD, all of us were born. All four of us were born. So she was probably in her 40s, sitting with one book, one pillow, one sofa, one mind, nothing else. We've discussed this in the multitasking and distraction lesson as well, but this is a bit more. There are people who say, "Oh, I can't go running. I need the right shoes. I need the right trousers. I need the right shirt. I need the perfect conditions in which I can run and really benefit from it. Oh, I need to be in the right headspace. I need to be feeling great about myself. I can't eat this. I can't eat that." And if you speak to a seasoned runner, some of whom are good friends of mine, this is what they say. You want to run? Run for 10 minutes tomorrow. If you can't run 10, run 5. If you can't run 5, run 2. If you can't run 2, run 1. Can't run 1, run a half. If you can't do any of that, run for 10 seconds. If not 10 seconds, run for a second. But do it. Stop wasting time with, I have to buy the new Nikes and I have to wear this wind resistant or streamlined suit which will allow me to pass through the wind swiftly. None of that. Start running tomorrow. You want to join the gym? Don't say, "Oh, I need to go to the best gym in the world and have the greatest trainer and have the most polished machinery." No. Find the closest, easiest gym you have and go do a set of just 15 reps. Do 10, 15 reps. Do one set for your arms, one for shoulders, one for back, one for legs, maybe one for your abs. 20 minutes to half an hour. That would take even less. 10 reps per set. Go do it. Go do it. That's it. But no, people want to make excuses. Oh, I can't drive. I can't learn to drive until I have the best car, until I have this, and until I have that. I can't drive. And the point is, what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to do the thing, or are you only trying to prepare to do the thing? And the actual truth is, all this preparation is an excuse. Why don't you study harder so you can get better grades? I would, but when I go home, it's just so noisy. It's just so hot. It's just so windy. I just have too many friends. I have too many commitments. I have too many this. I have too many that. Rather than saying, you know what? I have been lazy. I have been shirking my responsibilities. I have been incompetent. I have been neglectful. But I will do better. I will do better. That's all you need to say. And that is enough for you to start making changes in your life, which you currently do not see possible. If you are overweight, it's most probably going to be difficult for you to move quickly and easily in relative to somebody who's not overweight, who's fit. You can argue about it. You can argue about whether somebody calls you fat and how it makes you feel. And I understand it might make you feel bad that you're fat. And I appreciate your feelings, and I don't empathize with them, but I sympathize with the fact that you feel bad if somebody calls you fat. Rather than saying that X is wrong and Y is wrong and this and that and this and that, the actual lesson is go out for a 10-minute walk. Don't run, don't cycle, don't join the most expensive gym and say, I'm going to commit. Take the smallest of steps. If you live close to your office, rather than driving, try walking. Just that. If there is a grocery store close to your house, rather than driving or taking the bus or the train or the subway or whatever, try walking. I promise you, you will lose a pound of fat within a few weeks. And you lose another one and another one and another one. And then instead of walking 10 minutes, you'll walk 12. And then after 12, you'll walk 15. And before you know it, you'll be walking an hour easily. And all that weight that was holding you back will not be able to hold you back because your mind broke free from the clutches of complacency and lethargy. Just 10 minutes of walk. So rather than saying, oh, once I have this, I will start losing weight, just start. Replace activities of comfort with activities of slight discomfort. So, I will start studying once my lamp is here. All right, fair enough. You come home late from university or school or college. There's no light in your house. You live in a cave. So you can't study. I understand. Why not spend 2 extra hours in the library? The library has lights. Why not spend 2 extra hours there? Well, I'll be home late, and what? And what happens after that? Nothing. You're just home late, come home, sleep. Don't try to study. Don't waste time trying to study. Study in the library. So most of the reasons that we tell ourselves for not being able to do something can be overcome quite easily if we waste less time preparing to do the thing and just do it. I promise you, if you are unhappy with your weight, the actual solution is to just get up and start doing something. Now, some people might say, it's my metabolism, it's my genetics, it's my DNA, I've tried. I understand. I understand your struggle. Just add this on top. Or try making smaller changes like not eating butter or cholesterol or oily foods. It's hard for me to know so many people who have lost over 50 to 100 pounds in weight, which is around what, 30 to 70 kilograms, 30 to 60 kilograms, even more. Yeah, 30 to 60 kilograms. No. Around, you know what I'm talking about. And who've lost it, including my father. My father joined this program with Noom or whatever the app is, and he ended up losing weight because he was counting his calories, he was walking more, he was eating less, no chips or crisps, as you say in the US, not drinking fizz as much, and in front of our eyes, his weight started decreasing, and as the weight decreased, he started being able to move easily. And as he moved easily, his weight decreased more. And it became a wonderful cycle where he's lost 20, 25 kilograms easily. So it's all about doing the thing rather than preparing to do the thing. Preparation isn't going to help you. Preparation helps you sometimes. Okay, now you may twist my words and say, oh, well, I wanted to be an Olympic athlete. Shall I become one tomorrow? My response to you, if you come up with that question, is stop being an idiot. Don't be a dumbass, okay? Try to use that little thing inside your skull for critical thinking rather than finding faults in other people's argumentation. The truth is, if you want to be an Olympic runner, let's say like Eliud Kipchoge, or if you want to be a great swimmer or any activity, preparing for the Olympic activity is done by doing the activity. So even there, your preparation is the activity in itself. rather than saying, oh, I'm thinking about it and I'm getting in the right headspace. No. So when people say things like, yeah, I didn't feel like going to the gym. Yeah, I didn't feel like running today, so I didn't do it. My response to them is, imagine going to the office when you only feel like it. Imagine eating only when you feel like it. Imagine going to the gym or running or swimming or working out when you feel like it. Imagine being there for your spouse or partner or friends only when you feel like it. Imagine serving your parents and raising your children only when you feel like it. No. Your feelings don't rule you. You rule your feelings. So if you don't feel jubilant or excited, snap your fingers and become jubilant and excited. Now, there are some people who suffer from clinical conditions. They are the exceptions. They are the minority, not the majority. Now, you may come to me with depression statistics, but I am saying to you, they are minority, not majority. Don't use the minority as a scapegoat for your laziness or for your lethargy or for your lack of effort or initiative. Rather say to yourself, I might be depressed. Okay. I might be suffering. I might be in a difficult state of mind. Fair enough. For that, I'm going to see a therapist. I'm taking the prescribed medication. I'm doing all of that. But I'm not going to let it hold me back. If I want to run a marathon, I will run it despite being depressed. If I want to be a great swimmer or an astronaut or a professor or a great author, I will do it despite my limitations. I will not use them as a crutch. I will rise through them and above them. Try to come up with this mentality. I understand there are people who suffer from horrible mental afflictions, horrible ones. But all of them who come out of it will tell you the same thing. My therapist helped me. My family supported me. The medicine was helpful. But I made these changes in my life and they allowed me to feel better and do better. People come out of prison. People come out of poverty. People come out of depression, and people fight cancer and come out of remission and fight the greatest of obstacles and change the world. I have incredible faith in the human spirit and its capacity to overcome everything that is thrown towards it. And it all comes from this mentality of less preparation and more doing. You end up doing, you fail often, you fail early, you fail forward, you fail fast. You do all of that. And I promise you'll succeed. That is the lesson. But I understand people go through difficult times, and I sympathize with your difficulties. I sympathize with you. If I can help you, if I can lend you my strength, my power, my spirit, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would. I try my best to help everyone as much as I can, because human beings are only a vessel of divine energy. And the more I help, the more God helps me. And I become a channel for the divine force. So I see no problem in helping people. But God helps those who help themselves. You can drag a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. The decision always comes from inside. Always. You can't force somebody to get better. The decision always comes from inside, and it comes from this mentality. You want to do something, you do it. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. No try. It's do or do not. You do it, and I promise you life will get better. Thank you so much. I've gone on slightly longer today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go run right now.